Radahn is probably the best boss fight in the base game, and probably one of the most badass bosses ever made by Miyazaki. I say that by considering things like the magnitude of the fight itself. You have an epic scenario where you see yourself against a giant gravity master riding a tiny fucking horse with two giant swords ready to completely smash you. At the moment that you have the entire view, you just get entirely amazed by the proportions of the fight itself, We also have the fact that the fight is basically a raid boss where you can summon all of those NPC who are willing to participate in this festival, of which has been setting up some minutes before you start fighting him. And I think it's amazing because we never saw a raid boss in any of Souls game, and that just made me imagine how incredible it would be in a future From Software's game if they made a specific boss fight. It doesn't need to be every single boss, but at least one boss in a game completely optional that you can fight him by summoning a lot of people and making a raid boss. That may not please everyone, but I just think it would be fun in my mind. And also you have the fact that his design alongside the story makes Radahn one of the most badass characters Miyazaki has ever made. I mean, the guy learned gravity to not abandon his horse, As everyone says, he's a true Chad. But there was only one problem that turned his boss fight less epic, and I'm talking about the nerf applied. Well, some people say that it's because of the brain rot generation who can't stand to be fighting against one enemy without having to point out problems on the difficulty simply because all they ever played in their life was COD or any shitty game made by Ubisoft. Another says that he was truly unfairly hard. Well, regardless, all of those debates about the Soulsborne difficulty has been around us ever since Dark Souls. The only difference now is that Elden Ring reached way more people than before, so naturally more people complaining would appear too. And to be honest, unlikely most people who were shitting on everyone just because From Software nerfed Radahn, I never really cared or took a side in the whole story. For me, it doesn't make any difference, Even because if I want him to be hard, I can just go facing a level 1 and that's it. And also there's a lot of other bosses to face in the game. It was never like Radahn was the final boss or the only boss present in the entire game. Although it makes more sense to keep him hard since he's basically a raid boss, you summon a lot of NPC to fight alongside you, But well, sometimes I just feel that some people cry too much over one simple thing. And most of the time it's just because other people are crying alongside him. But at the same time I can understand that whole feeling of deception people had over this nerf. I mean, Radahn is the favorite Elden Ring boss for most people. And nerfing him was like taking away the pride of those who claims a hard boss as the favorite just to feel like they're the best in something. And that happens a lot. But either way, now the whole discussion about the difficulty disappeared and came back recently with the DLC. A lot of the brain rot generation came back to complain about the difficulty present in the DLC, even though they don't need to play this game if they don't want to, and they should expect such a thing since that's the proposition offered by this fucking company, It's like people don't research the game before they buy, That's just dumb, If you're gonna waste your money or spend your money or something, you gotta research it before. Well, who am I to say those things, right? And today, after completing the whole DLC, after fighting against every single boss and exploring the entire map, I'm ready to say that Shadows of the Erdtree is not as hard as everyone says. Like, it's not hard at the point that you need to give a bad review or ask for nerfs, The DLC gives a mechanic to improve the entire playthrough. Like, you can beat it with no difficulty at the end if you play it correctly. Obviously, it is harder than any shitty brain rot game made nowadays, but it's not hard at the point that it turns to be unplayable. And I must say that this DLC is probably one of the best DLC ever made in the entire video game history. Well, I'll talk more about it on my next video. But one fact that I need to point out is that, well, the DLC is not as hard as everyone says, but Radahn, the final boss of the DLC, is unfairly hard. And since you need to beat him in order to finish the DLC, I think people started to put the blame over one boss in the entire DLC, if you know what I mean. And it's not like I'm saying that he's unfairly hard if you play the game correctly with every mechanic that it gives you. I'm saying that he's unfairly hard if you play it on 1v1 without any type of external help or without using any of the mechanics the game provides you. And I don't think he needs to be nerfed somehow. Like, what I want to say here is everything I realized after fighting against him for 8 hours straight. But to start off, let me start by talking about his moveset during the fight. Radahn has a peculiar moveset, and just like a lot of the bosses present in the DLC, most part of the time you'll be constantly rolling, dodge the attacks, with the boss give you a tiny window of opportunity to either heal yourself up or deal some damage to him. And very little movesets, very little combos give you the chance to do both at the same time, you know. But in the case of Radahn, I gotta say that he was probably the most exhaustive boss fight I've ever fought in any From Software's game. And I include Sekiro in this. Like, I was paying so much attention that at some point I was just getting headache by just seeing the same thing on the screen over and over again. But the problem don't reside on the first stage of the battle. It is still fun to facing at the first stage, you know. Like, you can pretty much dodge every single combo he does, except for one that, God forgive me, but that shit is undodgeable, bro. I'm talking about the 3-hit combo where he attacks with both swords, at the end he finished with a cross chop. That shit is undodgeable. That shit made me look on YouTube on how to dodge that shit, cause I was just getting so frustrated by it that I couldn't handle. I had to look for a way to dodge that shit, bro, cause it's simply undodgeable. And even after looking into some ways to dodge it, I couldn't do it. I couldn't still do it. That shit is bullshit, bro. It's the worst thing I've ever seen, this fucking shit, bro. Well, as I said before, even though you have that shitty attack, you can still pretty much fighting fairly on the first stage. It took me about 1 to 2 hours to learn all of his movesets. I can't really remember the timing, but it was not that hard. Now, as I proceeded to the second stage, that's when the unfairly part comes in. You know, the second stage keeps all of his moveset the same, but it adds some things that those things are the unfair part of the entire fight. Like the projection he creates of himself attacking you, that for God's sake, most part of the time it was just undodgeable, and you just get desperate because he has so many movesets that you just have to predict him or have a real good reflex to know what he was gonna do. And the other thing that makes this entire second stage unfair is Miquella's. And not like Miquella's attack or anything. No, it is literally Miquella. Miquella's hair in this shit is so annoying because his hair covers up the entire screen and you don't know what the hell Radahn is gonna do, simply because you can't see what he's gonna do. I spent over 5 hours fighting on the second stage, and at any time during this entire boss fight I was able to reach 1/4 of his life. Well, probably it was because I was so overwhelmed and frustrated and with a headache, with a fucking painful headache, that I needed to sleep, you know. I needed to rest a little bit before fighting again. But that's the other thing that I realized during this boss fight. Why the hell am I trying to fight in 1v1? What is the purpose of all that shit, you know? Am I doing that just to fill up some pride that won't give me nothing in return in this fucking life? Am I doing that just to be accepted by a toxic community that will probably say something like, whoa, giant respect for fighting without using any summon, but forget about everything on the next 1 hour? Bro, why am I putting myself in so much pain for so long in this fucking shit, bro? And you can say like, oh, but Carcinetti spent 100 hours fighting, or I don't know, other streamers spent a lot of hours fighting. Obviously, they get paid to fight this fucking shit, bro. I am not being paid to fighting. I have a fucking job to point out. I have a fucking life to live, and there is no reason for me to be putting myself in so much pain over one single boss of this fucking game. Like fighting, I realized that Radahn is the living proof that this game was made to be played using any type of mechanic that it provides you to make the game easier. There's no such a thing as you being weak or noob for using the mechanics this shit provides you, you know? I realized that Radahn was made to be fought with someone by your side, even because he is fighting against you with Miquella on his back. Why the hell would I fight against him alone? Now, you can come with all the bullshit of saying like, no bro, I fought you alone, I was able to kill him alone. Alright, good for you, my boy. Good for you that has the entire time to fighting. Good for you that has a good reflex, a good mind to learn things fast. But I am not you, and I don't need to be you, you know what I'm saying? So after be suffering for 7 hours straight, I just realized that I'm playing this shit to have some fun, bro, and not to be like that suffering for so many hours. So I just gave up and decided to call out the gang. Decided to call out the shield gang. Look at these guys. These guys are W. These guys are Giga Chads for helping me. Like sometimes you gotta learn that in life you can't be putting your pride above all things. Like sometimes you have to lay your fucking head and ask for some help, because we live in a fucking society and not alone in this fucking world, you know what I'm saying? So that was the time I decided to lay my fucking head down and ask for some helps. And playing with these guys was the best thing I did in the shit, because it was funny, because I finally had some fun after a long time suffering, you know. And you can judge me, you can call me whatever you want, I don't give a fuck, I don't want your approval after all. But well, these were the things that I realized while fighting Radahn. And also there's the fact that I think making Radahn the final boss and the hardest boss of the game was a way to FromSoft to redeem themselves after nerfing everyone's favorite boss in the base game. You know, there are a lot of dickhead around there saying that they are just lazy and reuse it and boss, and well that can be true, but it doesn't bother me at all. Fuck that shit, bro. If they're gonna reuse something that it's already good, then I don't see any problem with that. Like saying that Elden Ring reuse enemy is noble, it's the best opinion you can have, but saying that Tears of the Kingdom reuse the entire game, it's bullshit, because Nintendo is the pedestal, right? Nintendo is above everything. Come on, fuck all those people, I'm not in the mood for that. Well, if you want more videos from me, just like this video and subscribe to this channel. And here I will leave you all with the whole boss fight, alright? I'm grabbing your dick, man. Grabbing your dick, motherfucker. Let's go, let's go. Stop that saucy bitch. One money star, two money star. Damn. Damn, that hurt. That hurts a lot. Look at the range of the shit, bro. What the hell? That's unblockable? Is that what you're telling me? We good everyone, we good. Just keep the rhythm. Just keep the motherfucking rhythm. Run away. The shield. The power of the shield. The power of the shield. You think you can grab me like that, motherfucker? Oh! You actually stopped the red there. What the hell? Take that, take that. By poking it, we can achieve the end. Go everybody. Take that. We good, we good, we good. He's focusing me. He's focusing me. What the hell? What hit me in the last time, bro? What the hell? Oh shit! Oh shit! Run everyone! Run everybody! No way to run. God damn. I almost died by the shit, bro. Boom. Boom. I'm doing nothing here. I just let everybody kill him. What the hell is that? Oh, god damn, bro. Thanks, everyone. Thank boys. That's the gang. The gang now is win, bro. A whole W for the gang. Yeah, praise, praise. We praise the sun, motherfucker. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and until Sunday.